2025 is a pivotal year for Soul Patts. We're merging with Brickworks and welcoming 25,000 new shareholders to our register. It's the culmination of a journey that we've been on to create a pure investment vehicle.
Jim Milner, famous for his corporate governance gem, the thicker the carpet, the thinner the dividend, ran the company for 50 years, and his nephew Robert has been at it for 20.
When I became chairman, I was the fourth generation of the Pattinson family to be chairman. And at that particular time, Soul had a market capitalisation of 675 million, and our market capitalisation has grown to over 15 billion. So there's been quite a dramatic growth phase over that period of time. Todd was one of the many bright young men that came along to join us. He was by far the best candidate that we could have picked, and I think what he's done in that period of time emphasises that. He's got a great vision on where he wants to take this company, and I've always been very supportive of him. And I'm very confident with the people we have. And you've got to remember, unless you have good people, and this company's had numerous people that have worked here for 20, 30, 40 years. We've had 3 families that have had 3 generations work here in the old days of pharmacy. So it's a people's business, and Todd's put a very, very good team here behind him.
When I started in 2004, it was a very different place to what it is today. There was about 15 people operating above the pharmacy in 160 Pitt Street. There was about a $1.7 billion market cap, and the portfolio was still very concentrated in Brickworks, TPG, New Hope and API.
After 4 generations, Washington H. Soul Pattinson remains one of the most remarkable conglomerates in Australia.
In 1872, Caleb Soul and his son Washington opened their first store in Pitt Street in Sydney. 132 years later and almost next door, these offices house an investment company with a reach that stretches from coal mining to television. Its primary investment is in Brickworks, the construction materials group. It's a complex web. Pattinson holds 42% of Brickworks, which in turn holds 48.9% of Soul Pattinson. The cross-shareholding has helped preserve the family's grip on the business, but some say the need for such a web is no longer useful.
With the cross-shareholding, we came under a lot of pressure from some people. These things happen when you're different.
What we saw in the Brickworks Soul Patts group was a collection of superb assets that were housed in corporate structures that, in our view, significantly understated the real value of those assets. We unveiled the proposal, and it fairly predictably met with very stout resistance from the boards of both Brickworks and Soul Patts.
In those days, you could tell people what you thought of them. I think we've got more important things to do with shareholders' money at the moment than taking each other over. I think what we've done in the last 5 to 6 years by releasing some of these shareholders' funds and assets, I'm more concerned on working on that at the moment than any takeovers.
I think it would be fair to say we could have done a lot worse than holding the various holdings that we had in both companies up until today. Both companies have been superb performers.
We've been able to grow both companies, and it's given us that protection that we could go ahead and do things without being intimidated by some of these corporate raiders, etc. It's guaranteed both companies certainty over a long period of time, and only recently we've come to the consensus that it's about time the merger ratios make sense. We thought it was probably a good time to put both businesses together.
2025 is the culmination of a decade-long process of expanding out the portfolio to further diversify into newer asset classes and less correlated asset classes, which makes the portfolio more resilient to market shocks and gives us real chance to outperform into the future. As we've moved into private asset classes, we're doing it in a differentiated way and in our own style. So in private equity, as the example, we're utilising our team, our reputation and deal flow to be able to partner with people to provide partnership capital for the long term as opposed to just buying out their business. And in credit, we're providing structured solutions, again utilising the experience of our broader team to provide highly flexible solutions to difficult situations. We're now in a very strong position.
We can go to places where other people can't because we're long-term thinkers. A lot of people, for example, private equity, only have money for 4 or 5 years. So they have to make that work. A lot of times if they can't make it work, they've got to bail out at a loss. Whereas we're happy to hold that investment for a long period of time. We started off with private equity. New Hope was private equity. NBN Television was private equity. So we've been in private equity probably longer than anybody. And we're not constrained. We're not afraid to sell something. It's shareholders' money we're working with. If we can get a better deal for shareholders by selling an asset, we will.
The really distinguishing feature about Soul Patts is the ability to put together, the capital allocation skills required with operatorship, and it's that combination that's driven so much value for shareholders.
They are one of the great investors, always prepared to take a long-term view, to back management and to be counter-cyclical. And really, if you look at any company globally, I think we'd be very proud to put Soul Patts against them in terms of what they've delivered, for investors over an incredible long period of time.
It's the decision framework. It's the way Soul Patts goes about the business. That, I think, is the secret sauce. Yes, the things you buy and don't buy matter a whole lot. But if you think about the way you go about building this business, if you do things methodically and properly, it's amazing how they compound to fantastic returns.
It's one of the best companies and we couldn't be happier as a long-term investor. Robert's led it well. He's got a real background. He's got common sense, and that's not so common nowadays. Confidence and long-term thinking, as well as integrity.
I believe the key driver of the company's success have been the people involved with it. I'm amazed that over the years they've managed, not just in terms of their ownership, their board and their key drivers, but their key executives as well, have maintained a high standing, a high ability to think things through, and indeed a real wish for long-term profitability.
Our culture has developed over a long period of time, facilitated by Rob's oversight. But one thing has always been the same, that shareholders come first, and we're here to serve our shareholders and generate enduring success.
Soul Patts and Brickworks have been two of the greatest compounders of capital that we've seen in Australia. There is no reason to believe that they will not continue to do in the future what they've done in the past.
Where we're going now, in 2028, we're 125 years. There's not many companies that have done what we've done in 125 years. So if we're going to achieve that milestone, I'd like to be around for that and maybe a couple of years after that.